Welcome to the flow.
Hello, my darling. How are you? I do hope you're having a lovely day. And if it's been a bit of a crap day, then hopefully this will make it feel a bit lighter, at least funnier. Who knows? Something good. Hopefully, this will bring something good into your day. So, welcome to Zentara Flow. This is the second episode I'm recording. God knows if it's actually going to be in episode number two or take a wild guess. But the name of this episode is The When Trap. That big, big, humongous lie of that little teeny tiny word, when. So, right now, I'd like you to take maybe like 5, 10 seconds to think about something that you've been meaning or wanting or wishing or dreaming to do for whatever period of time. It may be from a week ago, from 10 months ago, or from 8 years ago. Go. Okay, I don't know how many those were, but basically, what I wanted to get to is make you realize, I think, as humans, is part of our nature to make plans and to have dreams and to keep a to-do list, if you will. And thank God for that, because I think that's what keeps us happy and healthy, and at least if not healthy, motivated to look forward to something new, different, exciting. And I don't know, maybe during those couple seconds you thought about writing a book or writing a play or shooting a film or launching a new business or building a new brand or learning to paint or to cook or to learn how to play the piano or to learn a new language. Whatever that is, whatever that answer or those answers were, because most probably we'll have more than one thing that we want to do. I mean, hopefully. I think our biggest enemy standing between that thing you thought about and the goal is that little word that I mentioned earlier, when. So, the reason I thought about doing this episode is because I myself have been guilty of charge of postponing so many things in my life because of when. When I have the time, when I feel ready, when I have this amount of money, when I have the perfect X, Z, Y. So it's interesting because I think the biggest, like the bosses of the when trap are parents, right? I think if you talk to someone who is responsible for the life of a young creature, they're going to tell you that they never really felt ready to be a mother or a father or even a tutor, probably. Um, I feel like when you're talking about parenthood, there are like whatever number of books you want to think about and whatever number of courses you may think about. And as many as you can read and as many as you can do will never be enough to living the actual experience. And don't get me wrong, I do appreciate parents taking the time to get as ready as they possibly can, both in paternity, maternity, or especially in themselves, right? I think it's very important for humans to take a second to kind of dive in a little bit and see what's in here, what's going on up here, in here, in our hearts, in our bodies. Maybe take the opportunity to release some traumas, some limiting beliefs, some stuff that maybe we don't want to pass on to a future generation. Obviously, I don't think there's ever going to be a day when a human being is going to wake up being like, ah, Yes, good morning, sunshine. I feel it. I know it. Today is the day when I achieved 100% healing, 1000% perfection. I think that's just not how life works, but I do believe in working in ourselves and working every little day a teeny tiny bit towards improving ourselves, at least from a very loving, respectful, and patient place. With that said, again, I think parents are the ones that will tell you that they never felt really ready, 100% ready. And even maybe when they thought they were, when they started like actually being hands on in the situation of being a parent, you start discovering there's like so much more around it. So they could never be enough books or enough podcasts to listen to actually make you feel 100% ready for it. And I'm not speaking from experience because I have not been a mother to any human being. Probably won't be, but that's another subject for another time. Though never say never. But what I'm trying to get at is from the people in my life, that's what I've gathered. You never really feel ready to be a parent. And I think that equation applies to many of the things we usually dream or want to do. So I myself had this with this very podcast. Zentara Flow was born in my mind about maybe 4 years ago. The idea, at least, of it was obviously I didn't have a name. I didn't even have a structure. I still today don't have a structure per se. Um, but I just kind of cheated myself into postponing it for so long. And I think a big part of that is our brain, our mind, right? And I'm not blaming or shaming on it. I actually thank it because from what I know and gather, our minds are designed to keep us alive. And that means that anything unknown is kind of equals to danger, right? Because if we don't know it, then it might be dangerous. So we don't want to, we don't want to play with that just in queso, right? And so it's okay. I think that's when you kind of negotiate a little bit with your mind and be like, okay, honey boo, I hear you. I know what you're saying, but what if it actually goes better than expected? Or what if it doesn't? And still you manage to do this. So I was mentioning, I just recorded this episode in Spanish. And what I was talking about is precisely that. So talking about like the dangers of the unknown, right? Like my brain would be giving me all types of excuses and reasonings and arguments from what if they judge you? What if they don't like you? What if no one hears it or sees it on YouTube? Or even like more technical ones, right? Like you don't have the proper background, you don't have the proper equipment. I'm literally recording this on my computer with a microphone that I bought 5 years ago. So I'm sure technology's gotten so much better by now, and potentially you aren't actually listening to what the microphone is recording, but to the very like naked voice that you're listening to just bouncing around the room. And even the background, I'm using the background for my first business, the language business. And so I'm always like, ooh, for so long. Do you know how long I use the excuse like, oh, as soon as I get that perfect wall with the logo, then I'll start recording. As soon as I buy the new microphone, as soon as my hair actually looks better on a pretty good hair day, which today is most definitely not. So your brain is going to tell you like all types of excuses and arguments and reasons not to do it. And the point that I wanted to make is that when I recorded the one in Spanish, I actually thought to myself, what if this podcast doesn't get anywhere? What if no one likes it? What if no one cares for it? What if no one hears it? And you know what the answer was? Then it's still motherfucking great. Because at the end of the day, I did push myself to do something new, something that felt uncomfortable. But when I actually did it, I realized, hey, we're still here. Also, that's great food for my brain in telling it, see, we did something new that we didn't know and we're still here. So it was safe. So it's fine to do some new things every once in a while. And even if it were to be a huge fail, it wouldn't be, because on a very personal level, it already changed me. It already has kind of fed me something positive, fed me something useful for my life, for my character, for my person. So basically, what I'm trying to say is try to catch yourself when you fall in the when trap, because I understand, and obviously there are many different types of projects you can have, and I know that life is complex, and I know that we come from many different backgrounds and we all have very different lives. And so maybe if you're a mother of nine creatures, you're like, when on earth am I supposed to find the time to sit down and write a book? Or if you are, I don't know, I mean, there can be so many different persons listening to this type of content. So you all, I'm sure, have a probably list of, I don't know, 10, 25, 40 things that can be the, let's call them excuses. It's a bit of a, I don't love that word, but I can't think of any other one because it just feels like I'm shaming you and pointing my finger. I'm absolutely not. Okay, I get it. I think out of all the levels of life that a human being can have, I think I'm pretty freaking comfortable in the very like low level of struggle, and I still managed to push many projects by not only 2 years but 5 years, and some other by 10 years. So what I'm trying to say here is that it's not about making you feel guilty for not doing what you said you would do. It's just inviting you to maybe have a little talk with your head, with that narrative, with that little teeny tiny voice every time you want to do something that in your heart you feel that you want to do, that excites you, that fills you up, that bosses you up. And then that voice in your head gives you a reason why not to do it, or to wait until, or when. Have a little talk with it. A loving one, a gentle one, but a real one. Talk about that voice in your head that is saying, just wait until, or I'll do it when. What if you start questioning it a little bit? What if you actually take a very first teeny tiny little step? Because also, I think the mind usually gives us this, at least with me, I know it. Like, it gives me this freaking list of like 15 or 20 facts that need to be ready before I can take the step. And what if you don't? What if you still record that episode without having the logo, without having the wall, without having the lighting? For goodness sake, in just this like 10 minutes, my skin has changed like from Ghost to Simpsons to Nutmeg to God knows how many shades and colors and tonalities here. So it's most definitely not perfect. It's quite imperfect. Is, to the eye of a very high level producer, very mediocre. But that is okay, because you know what? I'm doing it. And I think I'm showing up, and that's what matters right now. And there's no way you can actually see what it'll take you if you don't start. And if it doesn't go as you planned it, it's okay. You already had nothing going on around that matter for so many years. So if the result after actually doing it is still nothing, again, you will have nothing on that surface or that level, but you will have gained something personal, something that builds character, some kind of feedback, something useful will come to you. And I can promise you that, because every experience, if you're if you're open to actually observing and learning from it, will give you something useful. And so the only way to improve is by starting. So the first project that I ever launched on my own was Moparlo language learning. And oh my goodness, it took me so long and I was so scared and I had to break through so many like little barriers that my brain put in it. And still today, there's so much to learn and so much to improve. But as time has gone by, it's now been 4 years, almost 5 years that I launched the project. And today I'm kind of amazed by how much better I've gotten at so many different things that were so hard to me at the beginning. And I know there's still a long road ahead, and it doesn't mean that it's perfect already. I actually don't feel like there's actually a perfect moment at any point. I feel like everything in the existence of the universe can always keep improving and keep changing and keep moving. And I feel like that's kind of like the drill of existence itself. But I do see and realize and notice how much I've grown in so many levels. And so will you. Whatever your project is, however fast or slowly you do it, however big or small the step is, go ahead, give yourself an opportunity to do it imperfectly, to do it wrong, to do it ugly. Ugly. Give yourself the opportunity to do it in any possible way, but just do it. And I didn't mean to use a slogan there, but it's quite literally the way to go for it. And another thing I also wanted to say is, just to give you kind of food for thought, I'm going to share some of the wins that I recognize that I have been trapping myself with, just in case you may recognize some of them, to help you maybe realize some of the traps that our brains can give us. And maybe sometimes we don't even recognize it as one. So I have, when I am, when I achieve, when I have this amount of money, when I become, when I look like X or Y or Z, when I feel like I'm ready, when I weight X amount of pounds or kilograms, when I get X or Y or Z, like what if you just forget about the when for a day and actually go for it and take whatever type of action you can that will get you a teeny tiny little bit of a step closer to that goal. Let me tell you, there are so many unwritten books, so many unwritten songs, unsung songs, so many plays, so many inventions, so many things that are waiting for you to bring them to life. And that's even like a beautiful way of sharing yourself. It's a service not only for you, but for others as well. To be honest, Boo, it's a bit egocentric for you not to be doing that thing that you want to do because I know I'm potentially going to be so benefited by it. So humanity is waiting for your next step, for your next creation. No pressure, honey. And I'm not telling you this to put pressure onto thinking like, "Oh my God, it's the world." No, do it for you. Do it for you, but with the knowing that this can potentially benefit so many, and not only people, but also communities, also cultures, also nature, also animals, also so many different types of things. Do you know? Can you even try to fathom the variety of things that, as I don't know how many even we are right now, like 7 8 billion people can create, like the variety and quality of things that can come out of people allowing themselves to take that step and potentially creating something great. Come on, there's so much genius in the world. There's so much love. There's so much greatness inside of you. Yes, I am talking to you, and you better believe it, honey boo. Make sure that whatever you do comes from your heart and comes from a loving place and comes from a good and loving intention. And I can almost guarantee it will bring something good, or at the very least interesting, into your life. Okay, I said guaranteed, but I am let's change guarantee for I feel pretty freaking confident that it'll bring something cool into your life. Like life was made to be lived, was made to feel expansive, to change, for us to dare to get out of that famous comfort zone and actually jump into the unknown and give ourselves the opportunity to open ourselves into the wonderful things of life in the unknown. So today I invite you to not only question the when, but actually take the opportunity to take that very step, that very first action, that very first teeny tiny little thing, that post the video, record the video, write down the idea, write down the first sentence. If you want to take a trip and you are working and there's no way in hell you can take a holiday anytime soon, start planning it anyway. Start looking at airplane tickets or bus tickets or whatever type of route you'll take or what hotel you'll stay in and what activities you're going to do. Start calling it in. Call it in. I'm sure you have a list, a very scrumptious and delicious list of things you want to do. Pick one where you can take action today and feel free to take that imperfect action with no judgment. And after you do that very first thing, please take a second and freaking celebrate the hell out of you, because celebration is a huge part of our creations. Celebrate yourself. And even if you're not doing anything towards your bucket list today, please also take a second to celebrate yourself today as you are right now, however that looks, however that feels, because being a human is not an easy thing. And my friend, you are doing your best and you're doing it so good, and it'll only keep getting better. So keep celebrating you. Whatever you can think about, and it doesn't even need to be a big thing. Hey, I got out of bed. Fuck yeah. I made myself a delicious breakfast. Fuck yeah. I didn't make myself a breakfast, but I ate half an apple. Fuck yeah. Celebrate life. Celebrate the small things. Celebrate the medium things. Celebrate the big things. Celebrate yourself, your awesome, your beauty, your awesomeness, your greatness, either the one you've expanded to already, and even more so, the one you are pulling towards this new reality and this new person and version of yourself. Not because you need to change who you are and you need to be a new version, but merely because you can allow yourself to experience something new, and that experience will automatically create a new you. So, my friend, today I celebrate you. I thank you for being here. I invite you to question the one, and I will see you on the next one. Remember, you're important, you're loved. I am glad you're in this place called the, what is it called? The Earth, because you're an important part of it. You wouldn't be here if it weren't otherwise. I love you, and I will see you on the next one. Adieu.